Remington Great American Bird Hunt.
Look, bonus!
Well, it's certainly a bird hunt. And that might be America.
Double chain!
I don't know about great, though. It's great! It's certainly an American bird hunt for the Nintendo Wii.
Triple chain! Quad chain! Headshot!
So look, this is a pretty lousy game. Most of you've probably already guessed that. But in a way, it's also a pretty interesting game. Lousy in that there's not much content to speak of, and it's a badly designed game that's about as repetitive as a Carly Rae Jepsen chorus. But interesting in that this repetitive, badly designed game actually plays really well. In fact, if it were a better game with like more stuff in it, this would be awesome. Right now, it's like one of those Oreo thins. I mean, Oreos are great, but who wants a thin one?
Triple chain! Quad chain!
Look, bonus!
Now, of course, the fact that it plays well has a lot less to do with the game
Amazing!
than the controller. And I've been going back and playing a lot of Wii games lately, and look, I gotta tell you, the Wii Remote was awesome. That thing has actually somehow become underrated. Because, people focus on all the bad things about the Wii, all the shovelware games. They forget all the great things about the Wii. Specifically, that freaking controller. And playing this game with a pointer, and really almost any shooter with a pointer on the Wii, that was seriously like a revelation. I mean, you can get pixel perfect accuracy, even with a game as lousy as this one. You just hold that controller while resting your wrist on like a pillow or even your lap. And you can make even the most subtle aiming adjustments. It's really amazing to go back to. I mean, I've said this before, but the real revolution with the Wii wasn't the motion, it was the pointer. And I think one of the biggest mistakes Nintendo's ever made was getting rid of it one system later.
Remington Premier Upland. You shot a hen.
So you can get a bead on targets that are like 10 miles away. Whoopee hooray. Boy, that's great. What about all the crappy stuff you were talking about? Yeah, well, yeah, about that. This game's kind of crappy.
Right on!
And I think the big thing is the content. I mean, each of the game's modes is basically just the same thing with a different number of players. And that might be okay, if not for the fact that the game is already repeating levels like one tournament in. Where this America looks an awful lot like this America. And we do have 50 states. It's not just the United States of Kentucky.
Headshot! Remington 870 Sure Shot Turkey. Bullseye!
So there's not much to do, and when you do things, you do them in places that look like places you already did them in, but with like inverted colors, like you were up late photoshopping before bed, and so now you're dreaming in negatives. So there's all that, but then there's also the repetition, and the fact that nothing ever really changes in this game. Like, you seem to collect stuff, right? I think I'm getting new guns, but I never have access to, like, a gun cabinet or some kind of store, or, like there's no tinkering with the things you've got. So did you really get anything at all? It's like Christmas morning, there are all these presents, but you're not allowed to play with them. Did I really get anything at all, Santa? You prick? The guns all feel the same, too. The only difference I could actually notice is that the gun sounding from the remote, yeah, that changed a little bit when I got a different gun, which is actually cool. That's a nice little detail in a game with very few details. It's like a one-page syllabus.
Whoa!
But I will say, the levels at least have, like, a nice aesthetic. Like, even if they don't look good technically, the art is okay. It might be a nice-looking game if it were, like, a little bit more polished. Maybe if it were a different game entirely. And like I said, though, it really does control well. I mean, I could have sat there for hours playing this, but the game doesn't give me a reason to. Doesn't give me a reason to reload either, which is weird. I mean, like as long as you don't miss the targets, you never have to reload. It's like a magic gun. You only lose a bullet when you miss, even though you're shooting. So what am I shooting them with then? It's utter contempt? Am I willing the birds to death? Why are they just sitting there while I slaughter their entire family? I don't know. This is a weird game, and this looks like a place from the never-ending story. It's Remington! Great! Subjective American bird hunt for the Nintendo Wii.
That's some world-class shooting. Long shot!
You're on fire.